Hi guys, I wanted to come on today to make this video. Actually, it's my first video. And what I'm feeling inspired to talk about is how to really empower ourselves, empower our everyday living. And because I feel for most of our lives, most of us are not empowered. We're disempowered. And you can tell that a lot by our lives daily, things we go through, things we struggle with. Um, I could say for me, growing up, there was, a lot of anxieties. Um, and for others, it's anxieties, it's depressions. Stress is one. And one thing that I really want to get through to people, or not even get through to people, but my message to people is to where can we start to empower ourselves? And these are things that can really start to help us in our everyday life to really stop living this old story and things that we're used to. We're used to feeling anxiety. We're used to feeling this way, and it's just a known. It's comfortable actually because it is known, and so it's really just starting to understand who you truly are. And I do come from the spiritual aspect because I really feel that um, this is the only true source of who we truly are, the connection that we have, that we are, that can start to help us move out of the pain, out of the suffering, and again, really to be empowered. And the beauty of all this is you really start to see the results. And, you know, and I guess, well, the question might be, well, how do I know that I'm suffering, or how do I know I should be, moving somewhere to a different place? Um, and there's no judgment, but I just, if you're experiencing anxieties and depressions, or if you have health issues, um, uh, you know, body aches, pains, chronic. These are signs that you are out of alignment with your true self. You're out of alignment with who you are. Um, I had a great conversation yesterday, a brief one, just about you know what our body is trying to say to us. Something I heard years ago from Dolores Cannon was when we're going through anything that is a dis-ease or even a disease, our body is just really trying to show us something. It's trying to tell us something that it would like us to see about ourselves. It would like us to know about ourselves so that we can actually truly heal. And we really have been going this whole time through our whole lives, like I said, just very used to our experiences, just very, this is just the way it is. I have a story. I'm attached to this story of what I've been through and who I am. And sometimes we even almost just, wear that badge that this is just the way it is. And what I want to bring to people is really my own story and things that I've been through that started to move and shift me out of the old story, out of the old patterns, out of the old victim mentality, and towards new ways of being. And it really starts with new thoughts and not going to the old thoughts. And to me, it is a practice. You as you practice these new thoughts, you at the same time unpractice the old ways of being, and you really start to see a lot of changes, see a lot of differences in your health, in your in your anxieties, your sleeping patterns, because I do hear, and there's no judgment on any of this stuff, but I know a lot of people out there, talk about, they never sleep. They always have anxieties or panic attacks or, and all these things. And it's a state of suffering. And it's really your nervous system is all bunched up. There's lots of stress in the body. And it could be from, your current circumstances. Um, Also, a lot of things that we actually do carry things throughout um, you know our childhood. A lot of things happen in childhood that if we haven't processed these things correctly or really have worked through, and like myself, there's many stories. There's lots of things that we've all been through, uh, that could cause a lot of our diseases. Like I said, there could be anxieties. Common one is anger, feeling anger inside, and not that it's always there on the outside, but you know, sometimes it's behind the scene. It's there, and again, we get used to it. We learn to live with it, and we really don't know any different. And sometimes it's only through our deepest struggles, our deepest pains, our really struggling, especially certain situations that can really just get us so low that we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's a place that a lot of people can get to, and it's a place that I had gotten to. And you just start asking, you start wanting, desiring more. And the beauty is that there is a place to go to, and that you can shift, and I am a firm believer that anything can heal. Um, you know, Cancers, any kind of diseases, and all these things that we think that we're stuck with, or that we've been cursed with or plagued with. Um, it is just it's so powerful to me, and sometimes I know it's even sometimes even hard to believe, um, or sometimes we actually don't know who we would be without these struggles, so we say, no, that's not for me. I'm going to keep on keeping on and just keep on doing my thing. But I do know that people struggle, because sometimes they voice it, they say it, even though we're all plugging away, we're all doing our thing, we're all, again, keeping on. Um, but we all sometimes voice it out there that, it's what we deal with, and again, sometimes we just justify it because it's all we know. So sometimes we have to start stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is starting to heal and starting to, and it's a process, that we go to. But once you start to kind of open up that door, it does open slowly, but it is very powerful, and you will start to really slowly see things that will start to shift you and start to make you. Again, my biggest thing is that we are spiritual beings, and we are here having an experience, and when we do come in, there is a veil. So the biggest message is that we forget who we are. We do not know who we truly are. We have come down onto this planet, onto this earth, to really forget who we are, to start discovering who we are. And and really, this is the planet of emotions, they say, or, um, it's a planet of limitations. So we come here as an experience, and not across the board, not for everybody, but for most people, it is one that, again, you forget who you are, so you're very attached to a story. We are conditioned by society, by our parents, by the news, and each of us has this story and ego identity, and it's called form. We are here in form, But when we forget who we are as spiritual beings, it's so powerful because we're manifestors, we're creators. If you're not familiar with like quantum physics, which was something that really opened me up also, there's a great documentary. It's probably like 20 years old now, but it's called What the Bleep Do We Know? And it was just one of the first few things that I had watched. This is back in 2000 and probably 16 or 17. And what quantum physics is showing is that the observer, us, the observer, what we are focused on is what is being created, is what is being manifested. So if you grew up in maybe toxicity, maybe a hostile environments, maybe one or two parents who had their own things going on, you are, this is your surrounding, this is your environment. And you take on all this exterior stuff into your energy field, and again, you're observing this stuff, and it just affects our outcome of life and what we are experiencing. The beauty of it all is that at this time right now, the veil is slowly lifting, slowly, because what it really is there are energies, frequencies, lights coming on the planet that is going to really help us, that has helped us, that is helping us to start to understand who we are as spiritual beings. And even saying spiritual beings is probably doesn't even really reflect the big picture, because I'm not going to get into non-duality and stuff like that, but everything really is oneness, and we are all really aspects of each other, and that's why there is really no right or wrong. It's all experience, and which is fine. But the beauty of it is to really lift ourselves to that higher place, to lift ourselves out of our beliefs and our thoughts about life that is at the root of what is creating suffering. Because as Eckhart Tolle says, it's not the situation that is causing us stress. It's our thoughts about situations that cause us stress. So it's really starting to work on our thoughts and changing these thoughts or our perceptions about our parents, our friends, our financial situations. And when we start changing our focus and we start shifting our thoughts and focus about things, because of quantum physics, which is really what they call a field of potentiality. So there is so much, it's almost like a dream, that we're living. And how like in a dream, you would think or you believe that we could do anything because it's a dream. Well, the idea is that this is kind of like a dream, okay? But it's an awakened dream. And depending on where our thoughts are focused is what's going to determine our life situations and what's coming into our life. And so if your life is, let's say someone who's experiencing cancer, okay? Someone who all of a sudden they are going through years, months, whatever it may be, of experiencing cancer. And I've never had cancer, okay? But through my own experiences, through my own growth and learning and knowing, yes, at first, if we get cancer, it's going to be a devastating diagnosis. And we're going to move into fear and what ifs. But what if we started asking questions if we were there, if we were ready to do this, because again, you don't want to take away experience and where people are at because all experience is valid, is maybe at first it wouldn't be this way because again, I understand that it would be totally a scary thing. But in order to shift and heal, we would have to actually ask them some questions. And the questions might be, is what is this cancer? Why is this here? Why am I experiencing this? What is this cancer trying to show me? Is there something I can learn from this? And the beauty is, from what I've learned and truly understand about why some people go through some devastating things, is that there is something that we've been really accumulating over time, over our time here on earth, our experience here on earth. And again, we're all different experiences. Again, some of us are experiencing heartbreak, which is a big one for people. Um, and or one could be where you're not taking care of yourself. You're maybe if you're a woman, you're nurturing everybody else, your children, husbands, family members, but you are not giving any of that love back to yourself. And in a situation like that, the message that the body would be trying to give you is it's time to start taking care of yourself. It's time to start, not that we stop helping others or nurturing other people, because that's a beautiful thing, that's a great thing. But there is a lack of that love, a lack of that nurturing that is coming to the self. And this is where the message would be, where can you start to go within and start to love yourself? And that might include starting to do things for yourself, maybe starting to eat better. Um, and to me, it's not about being perfect. We're not here to be perfect, because meaning you could be a perfect diet, perfect, you could be exercising every single day, but still maybe not have the great thoughts, maybe still not taking care of yourself, and you still can get sick, and you still can, unfortunately, pass away. But the idea is to really start to heal the inner stuff, because as spiritual beings we have energy centers, and our energy just wants to flow. It wants to flow, and because what it's really doing is it's coming down through our crown chakra, and it's coming down our main chakras, and I believe it's flowing back down to the earth, and it's like a loop, okay? And when we don't understand chakras and the energy system, then things can get stuck, okay? And one thing I had figured out, as one thing that I had for me, was I had my throat chakra because I wouldn't speak up for myself. Um, I would, because I just couldn't do it. I just a lot of times would, because of my own traumas, my own things. So you can start to have experience issues with the throat chakra. And then of course sometimes they will affect other chakras, especially ones that are close. And I think even for me and maybe most of us, we've experienced a lot of heartbreak. So a lot of times, we actually build what's called a heart wall, or our chakras start to get blocked. And so think about that, like electricity flowing through a wall, right? So as electricity is flowing, if that electricity got stopped up, it would start to, um, whatever. It would start to, cause, I'm not an electrician, so I'm lacking with the words here, but what causes fires? Things start to get, frayed, or there's a problem. There's a problem with, and because the electricity is not flowing, and it's the same thing with our bodies. When we're not understanding that, we're not allowing all this energy to flow properly, and most of us don't know. We don't know that there's energy centers, unless we're starting to study these things. Um, and so it starts to cause problems in our body, and that's what I'm trying to say here. Is it's so important to heal old things, um, a lot of our issues in our is because we have something called a root chakra, which is our lower area. So if there's times if there's problems in our anything from the heart below, okay, there's our solar plexus, there's so our root chakra, and there's our other root center, which right now it's escaping me. But it's all like root chakra. It's all our lower chakras. Anything from the bottom is survival mode. Anything from the heart up is it's more spiritual. Okay, it's more because your crown chakra is closest to God, universe, and then it filters down and comes down. So our intuitions, our wisdoms, our third eye, us speaking our truth, everything from here up. With the heart, it starts with love, and then it works up. It's more of our spiritual dimension, where the root chakra is our lower survival dimension. And most of us, because we're here on planet Earth, we're in survival mode. Um, and for me, it's really has the idea has been to move from survival mode to abundance mode. And abundance mode is a mode of where you don't feel lack, where you don't feel the need. And I'm not saying we don't still play in this world and vacillate a little bit, because at the same time we don't forget that we are here to have this experience. Excuse me. So it's really learning to balance. Balance here is key, and that's why I love the word balance. Balance, coherence, um, homeostasis. Okay, these are words that put our nervous system, our emotional system, which really is the driver to our experience, because our nervous system is either in the parasympathetic nervous system, okay, or the sympathetic nervous system. And if I have it correctly here, the parasympathetic is when you're basically in fight or flight, you're in stress, you're in anxiety. And when your body is in this state of being, your, and again, it starts up here, your thoughts, when you're in this mode, you are releasing, because we are a chemical factory, these chemicals that we are releasing into the body, okay, are things like, and again, I'm not an expert, but I do know a little bit about this kind of stuff. We're releasing like cortisol, adrenaline, and there's a few others. And these are ones that are kind of wreaking havoc within the body. They they make it so that you don't sleep well at nighttime. It's just not you're just not in balance. So what you want to start doing, the idea is to try to start moving the nervous system into the sympathetic nervous system, which is which is healing, which is balance. It's really just our body wanting to now be releasing these chemicals, which is I think oxytocin, okay, maybe dopamine, um, all the good chemicals that your body wants to release to really start having you have a better experience. Because I always give this analogy sometimes, okay, of different pools we can be in, okay, and for me, not that my whole life was awful, okay, but I was always in. I don't want to say always because I was always trying to be positive, covering up negativity, okay, but if I really look at my life and things I've experienced and have gone through, and you're living with anxiety, which may not always be on the surface, okay? Because a lot of times we put big smiles on, smile, um, and you're trying to mask these things. You're trying to cover up, um, you know, what you're feeling inside. Because most people don't really understand what you are feeling inside. You're putting on this mask. You're putting on this front, and basically you're in this pool of negativity. Okay. Um, but if that's all you know, if that's the pool that you're used to, then you're like, hey, this is just the pool I'm in. But once you realize, oh, hey, over here, there's the pool of positivity. And you can get up out of this pool and start going over to the pool of positivity. And this swim is going to be a lot different. Okay? This is the pool that you're going to start preferring, even though it's going to be scary. And the reason why healing is scary and can be is because all the stuff that you've been experiencing in the pool of negativity, it has to come up. You have to start to see your stuff, which most people don't want to. That's why some people are always staying so busy. They keep on going. They don't want to slow down because they don't want to feel their pain. They don't want to feel their anxieties. And that's what a lot of us do. We shut off things because we don't truly want to feel. And so this is the healing path, that we start to see our stuff because we want to start being in the pool over here, okay? But since we live in non-duality, the idea is that we live in duality. Because I do also, which would be another conversation, because I've also been studying non-duality, okay? Which to me is just another dimension, another layer of understanding, of truth, of higher truth, okay? But in duality, which in the third dimension here on Earth, we experience. It doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means opposites, right? Left, right, up, down, good, bad, dark, light. It's just everything is polar opposite. So it's polarity. And this is a great place to start understanding, because it's knowing what you do want from knowing what the experience that you've had of what you don't want. And like I said before, this is an amazing time that we all are. I think whether you know it or not, you are healing right now. You are starting to understand who you are. But I'm here to help those who maybe want to learn from my story, and to maybe help them to keep pushing them to reach for better feeling thoughts, to start to want to be better, do better, again, manifest better, love better. And this is what it means to love the self. Because when I first heard that, I didn't know what that meant. Because for me, I was always reaching on the outside of myself to find love, to experience love, to get a taste of love, because I never understood what it meant to be right here, that it was right here. And little things that we do for ourselves, like maybe learning to heal, getting a massage, talking to a friend, talking to a family member, the small things to do for the self are just small gestures of self-love that really starts to change your world. It really starts to move things. So, again, this is my first video, and I just kind of knew I had to start somewhere. And where I really wanted to start was, and I know I can go many different avenues with this, but the main focus is to empower you, to empower ourselves. Because without that, we're stuck. We're going to stay stuck. And we don't want to stay stuck, right? Nobody would say they want to feel anxiety, that they want to feel depression. And we're going to talk about these things. We're going to talk about anxieties. We're going to talk about depressions. Because I want you people to understand its belief systems. Whatever you believe, you are, you have, you will always be, you will always have, you will always create, and you will always have. So I never want to undermine something like depression, but when we really start to break these things down, to understand our focus, to understand our thoughts, to understand our traumas, to understand our sadness, because that's what depression is. Okay? Depression is through our whole life, we have been having experiences. And where it normally starts, it starts with a sadness. Okay? And somewhere along the line, we were let down. We were hurt. And there's sadness there. And that sadness is an energy. Okay? It's, I think you could probably call it a vibration. Okay? And this resonance can build. So as the years go by, this sadness, as you get older, it could be a loss. It could be, why did this not happen? Why did that not happen? It's really a why this didn't happen. Like something should have been this way. So there's a sadness, okay? And then the sadness turns into frustration. This is over the years. And then this frustration turns into anger. This is like steps, okay? And these things start to step up, okay? And that's what we start doing when we start to understand some of these things, okay? What we want to start doing is start climbing back down. It's an emotional scale, okay? We can call them emotional steps. And so depression is years of all this sadness, frustrations, anger. Then we get into adulthood. We're now having all our experiences. And then we go to the doctor or even the family members. Oh, you have depression. It's in the family. We all have it. Whatever it may be, you take on a belief system that this is something that you were inherited, something that was given to you, something that maybe grandma had, your father had, your mother had, and you just feel because of genetics that it's just something that you own, you have. And again, because of focus, you will, and beliefs and labels, you will go down this road, okay, of depression, which has its own story of psychiatrists and medications and you'll live this life. You'll live this out. But when we start to empower ourselves and to stop accepting labels, and again, it's a process. It's not an overnight thing. That we want to start climbing back down the emotional scale. And what you start doing is you start working on that anger. Maybe drop it back down to the frustration. Drop it back down to the sadness. You work through each layer to find out why it's there and understanding why it's there. Okay? So the exciting part about this is that we can say, oh, I don't have to own this for the rest of my life. I don't have to say I have this the rest of my life. No. We wake up every single day a brand new person. And the reason why we remember yesterday, which really doesn't exist, okay? Because it doesn't. All there is the present moment. But our brain here, our memories, it remembers yesterday. So we kind of bring forward yesterday into the now, into today. And then what happens is it projects a predictable future, okay? So with that, we say, oh, there's something here that I can start to shift my focus. And I don't have to live with this diagnosis. I don't have to accept this label, okay? And I know for some reason this can upset some people, that because their identity can be wrapped around something like depression, or wrapped around something like, and we're going to talk about this eventually too, about like ADHD, something that I've been through, something that I've experienced, something that I was on medications for, something that was told to me that I have, okay? But hey, great. It was a platform. It was something that I went through for a period of time. But the beauty is I no longer go by that label. I no longer talk about that. I no longer live that life. I don't take medications. I am a new person because I am a creator. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I just really wanted to start this first video, maybe we can even call it a podcast, okay? Um, and for me, I think I might even call it the Authentic Power Podcast, okay? Because I love that word, authentic power. And authentic power is coming from who we truly are. Yes, I look like James Palazzo here, okay? And I am having this experience as me. But who I now know my true self to be, and to me, I think this is even, not even defining it in the big picture, a spiritual being, okay? It's really just the one experiencing itself, filtering itself down to me of who I am having an experience as. So now, through remembering, through awakening, which we'll talk about also, what does awakening mean? But we wake up to who we truly are. And now we have and can create with authentic power. So, like I said, I'm going to leave that right now with there, but we're going to talk more and have great, awesome talks because I want to empower you. We're going to use love and great words like love and healing and because we want to be empowered, right? That's the only way we are going to ever truly heal and move out of this pool over here of negativity. We don't want to be in the pool of negativity anymore. We want to spend most of our time over here in the positive pool, okay? Which means that, yes, sometimes we're going to walk over and we're going to dip our toes in negativity. It's going to happen still, okay? We're not always going to be in the pool of positivity. It'd be great to, but I don't think we're truly here to experience that fully. Maybe some are, okay? And maybe I will too someday. Maybe I'll be saying that someday to you guys. But we're still gonna sometimes dip our toes in negativity, but not for very long. We're not gonna stay there like we always have been. We're gonna say, no, I don't want this. We're gonna go back over to the pool of positivity because over here it's calmer, it's more relaxing, it's more peaceful. Okay? So I'll leave that with you guys. Much love to you guys, and I'm excited to do another one here again eventually. If you guys like this, absolutely please leave a comment, share, and much love to all you guys. Okay, take care. Bye.